The pod's not the biggest story in the San Diego, at least the biggest baseball story. This gentleman is the winningest coach these parts has ever and likely will ever see, Mr. Sam Blalock, who decided this was his final baseball season after 29 wins.
29 wins
and a heartbreaker
season,
against
yeah.
Eastlake.
Yeah, Eastlake's a good ball club. Yeah.
Is it harder to retire after losing a game, or is it harder to retire after winning a title?
I don't know. I've only retired once. So.
Well, let's just get the bait. You're after 46 years and 946 wins. You're stepping down. Why?
Like I said, something in my brain and my heart have been thinking this and talking it over, and I just feel like it's time to step aside and let somebody else do it.
Look at that graphic right there. 946 years, 946 wins, 12 CIF section titles, 23 league titles, 32 players drafted. Any one of those bullet points stand out as you want on your tombstone?
Not really. You know, I never did it about the wins, but I am proud of the career that I have. You know, it's a lot of good years behind it.
Absolutely. You know, tell us about the general reaction. Did people know this was coming? Did you know in the dugout against Eastlake that you were coaching your final baseball game?
Some people suspected it. I think my longtime assistant, Mark Furtek, and I, we both kind of been feeling it for the last couple of years. You know, he's been with me for 28 years.
Wow.
And, you know, that's really something, a lot of loyalty there.
What do good coaches have in common?
I think they care about the kids the most, and they're organized, and they want to be successful.
You know how I know you're organized? Because your retirement letter was a 2-page document that just reeked of organization and detail, attention to detail. I want you to tell me about this phrase at the bottom, all contribute that pass through. Is that a Sam Blalock quote?
Yeah, you know, I've always felt that. You know, there's a lot of things that go into developing a program, and there's a lot of people that contribute, and I think everybody that comes into the program provides something, and I think they all should be proud of participating in it. It's not just one person that's there. I just happen to be the director of it for a while.
And humble to the end. Let's talk about, I hate to be the downer here, but there was also a 6-day period when the winningest baseball coach, or the winningest coach San Diego's ever seen, was out of work through, we'll get into it. You talked to Brandon Stone saying this yesterday. Roll the tape, please.
One of the highest spots, though, I mean, those were the low spots, but the high spot might have been the support I got from my players and from my parents to get me back after I'd been fired. So,
explain to me how one moment can be both a high and low highlight of your career.
Well, I wasn't real excited when they told me I was fired, and I was heading on vacation to Boston to see my son.
What was the reason that you were being terminated?
Well, a longtime friend was the one that fired me, and he asked me to resign first, and I said, no, I'm not resigning. I've never quit from anything. He says, well, then I'm going to have to fire you. And I said, why? And then as we started going through, I said, that's not a reason, that's not a reason. He said, well, basically, I've been told if I don't fire you, I'm going to be fired.
But so it came through the Poway Superintendent's office. A measure of vindication comes 5 years later when that person was let go under a much darker cloud, and I mean much darker. Do you feel a little vindicated that you were right all along?
Somewhat, but you know, I tried not to let his firing have an effect on me either, or the position he did. I was just, the reason it was a highlight of my scene was I was very happy that the kids and the parents came to my support. Look
at this graphic coming out. When I first started researching you, or last year, you were number 3 on the all-time wins list in the state of California, which, folks, everyone knows, you know, all the best wins or best coaching takes place in California. You will finish number 2. Had you hung around just a season and a half, you would, do numbers like this matter to you?
Not really. I never got into it for the reason of winning or being the winningest coach. I got in it to try and win as often as I can and try to teach a winning attitude to kids. That's the main thing that I did.
Do you ever sit at home and put together the all Sam Blalock team or the all RB team, and I assume it starts with the 6 guys that made it to the bigs?
Yeah, the 6 guys in the big leagues, I tell you, they were great players, but there's been a lot of other kids that have had great high school careers too. Either injuries or something else derailed them from a career, and it's easier to be successful in high school than it is at the pro level. Let's put it that way.
So, but in your head, do you know who your starting 9 would be?
No, I couldn't even come up with it. Me and Mark Furtek have sometimes sat down, and we used to try and do that, and boy, it gets arguments.
It's like choosing what your favorite kid is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, as school budgets get squeezed, the odds of seeing iconic coaches like you it's going to be more rare because, one, coaches can't afford to stay around and park it at one school for a long time. Are you worried about the future of high school athletics?
Yeah, I kind of do. You know, they were just mentioning it that it's going to, the private parties are going to take over everything, which they kind of do, the travel ball and everything. And, you know, most of the high schools, like when I started at Mount Carmel, every one of my coaches was a full-time teacher. And now when I end at, you know, some of my years that I've had at Rancho Bernardo, I'm the walk-on coach. I only had one coach that actually taught in the school district. Everybody else is walk-ons.
You know what makes your achievement more impressive is you did it at a public school with just kids in the neighborhood. What's going on at RB? You have to be proud of the basketball team, the baseball team. RB, I know Torrey Pines gets all the ink, but RB is a renaissance, isn't it?
It's a good high school. You know, Peggy Brose does a good job as the AD there, and it's a good school. They put some value on it, and I think that basically the coaches, you find a good program, you're going to find a good coach that leads that program, and there's a lot of great coaches throughout the county.
Yeah, we got about 20 seconds left, Coach. Your wife is here. What's a guy who's been consumed by baseball all his life for 46 years, what are you going to do now?
Well, she wants me to travel with her. I don't know. She's going to have to twist my arm a little bit more. I kind of like to stay home and surf and swim.
Any chance you reconsider?
I talked to Peggy about that today, and I said, well, she says, are you calling me to change your mind? And I said, no, I'll wait 7 days. You know, that was my number, 7. I'll wait 7 days, and then I'll let you know, you know.
Coach,
so.
I want you to know I work out in this shirt all the time. This is the Sam Blalock 800 win, or 146 wins ago. Coach, could you do me the honor?
I would.
Would you sign it? So when I work out, I want Sam Blalock's name on my back. Coach Sam Blalock, the winningest, I don't care if it's tiddlywinks, I don't care what it is, nobody has won more and nobody will ever win as much as the man who is now signing my most favorite garment to work out in. Sam Blalock with his back. Sam, you got to face the camera and at least say goodbye.
All right. Adios.
Sam Blalock. He's going right off into the sunset. Sam, come back.